Welcome back, everyone, to this edition of Try Hard Racing with me, RollCageTV, where I continue to do the best I can with what I've got, which is not a lot of talent, but a whole lot of electric. Yeah, a whole lot of electricity in the air. Electricity is in the air. Electricity is in the batteries. Batteries are in the vehicles. The vehicles are on the track. The vehicles are on the track. Hi-ho, the Dario. The vehicles are on the track. The track is in the town. The track is in the town. Hi-ho, the Dario. The track is in the town. Let's move on, shall we? I attempted this at the end of the last episode and failed miserably. I need to finish in the top 2 in this event, and it didn't happen. I actually terminaled. But I attempted it with the hard difficulty level. I turned it down to medium. If I fail at medium, I will turn it down to easy. And if I fail with the easy difficulty level, I will end the playthrough. Good night. Yeah, that was fun. So you never know with me when suddenly the series will end. The YouTube series will end. The Twitch series will end. This is being streamed on Twitch, by the way. Twitch.tv/RollCageTV. Links everywhere. For those of you watching on Twitch, it is also saved permanently off in pieces and nice nice episodic bites on youtube.com/@RollCageTV. Links everywhere you would expect there too. All right. Oh, I got credit. I was looking at this last time. Hit boost gates 2 of 25. So I actually got credit for that. And I got credit for 11 miles out of 52. Second spent on the racing line. 68 out of, what did I need? 25? Probably 250 something. So I'm actually meeting the objectives for this, for all 3 objectives I'm meeting for this sponsor. Not that it matters, because it reset my sponsor objectives things. If I'm lucky, I'll run into some race that requires this. But I'm not going to do any of the sponsor races and the challenges, because half of them are broken. I'm not just going to do half of them. So. Alright. We are miles driven in electric cars, level 52. Hit boost gates 2 of 25. And I think there's a bug and it won't show 3 numbers. Seconds spent on the racing line 68/25. Yeah, I don't think that's right. Maybe it was only 25 I needed. I was reading a little scroller at the bottom if you don't know what I was doing. Okay, I had to finish second. I failed horribly in my first race, my first attempt. Playing on hard difficulty, not knowing the course and driving all over the place and ending up actually, yeah, I already got a nemesis. If you bump into someone, even if it's their fault, you get a nemesis, and then they get a little bit of a speed boost. I think it seems like they get a speed boost, but mostly what they get is very angry with you, and they will come after you rather than winning the race. Their main concern is to just come after you. Well, this race is starting a little bit better. Yeah, there's another nemesis. That matters less because that's my rival racing company. They will come after me no matter what. Anyway. Ravens West is the big bad guys in this game. If you play it, they may have actually been the big bad guy in earlier versions of Grid as well. This game, you know, you might ask, well, do you recommend this game? You know, you spent a lot of time complaining about certain aspects of it. The game is very fun to play. And the UI interface is kind of inconsistent, and there's some other things that, you know, I don't like about the game. Oh, he hit me. He hit me. Not gonna spend the rewind, 'cause I'm probably gonna need it later. Notice all the red around me. Every car around me is red on the mini map, which is because Stu, you were not paying attention. That was clearly a cut. Oh, and one car was my teammate. Come on, teammate, back off. No, that wasn't actually my teammate. Did I say roommate? Roommate. The company is so cheap. We probably do share a single hotel room. Let me go. I've had to done that with some of the companies I've worked for. Go on a sales support. I was the programmer, but I went on trips for sales support. I'd be out there with the sales guy, and you know, we'd end up sharing a room at a hotel because they couldn't afford it. The company didn't want to spend on a second room. Oh, great! Now for that, they give me track exceeded. This car is really hard to control, and I know I do have all the things turned up as far as traction control and all that stuff. I only need to finish in second. I have some damage, but I don't think it's a tire. Well, I may start next race in medium. Because if things are going the way they're going here, I'm not gonna come close. The first race, I beat him easily, like completely smoked them in, oh, cannot make this turn. Really smoked them in, no. Alright, it's the last lap. When he first turned on rewinds, I really smoked them by a lot. Easily in the first race on hard. And you gotta brake. You cannot trust that racing line. You gotta brake a lot sooner. And that is my rival. The purple is my rival. A lot of the sponsors name a particular rival that you have to beat. You have no way of knowing what sponsorship you should have, though, because you have no way of knowing when you're going to face that rival. So you have to like run the race twice. Yeah, okay. Penalize me. I don't care, because I only need to finish second. Odds are I will still finish second, even with the penalty. The guy in second looks like he's got a decent lead on the guy in third, so. Yeah, just see, that was all green. That was all green. Never gonna take that turn. Never gonna take that turn without lifting. The racing line is a lie. Oh, I do have my anti-brakes turned on full. I should use that to my advantage. And I will finish second. Too many penalties, I'm sure. But I will finish second, which is all I need. Oh, don't tell me I finished first? He was like right behind me. What were those penalties then? I got 1,000th of a second for each penalty? Objective complete. Yay! I can move on with my life. Anyway, I was saying, yeah, people ask me, is this a good, would I recommend this game? And I have to say, oh, I got enough for the next, oh, they took away some of my money? Time penalty, 1.5 seconds. Sorry, minutes, seconds, milliseconds. Okay, so 1.5 seconds. And 1.5 seconds was enough to still get me in first place because I beat him by 1. Is that with the penalty? That's got to be without the penalty. I beat him by 1. Oh, they only added 1 second. Plus 0, 1 second. Which should have been 1.5 seconds, right? Maybe they just rounded up to this play there and it's 1.5. Or it may be that that's with deduction. Because I don't think I beat him by... Did I really beat him by that much? Without the penalty? I mean, that's one... That says I beat him by 1.5 seconds, thereabouts. If they applied the penalty and that looks reasonable if the penalty applied after that. But if you add 1.5 to 47.9, you get 49.4. 48.4. No, 49.4. So yeah, I would have still beaten him if that's pre-penalty time, which it's gotta be, because otherwise it would have been like I would have beaten him by... I didn't think I beat him by 1.5 seconds, but apparently I did just over 1.5 seconds. Otherwise it would be like I beat him by 3 seconds, and I don't think I beat him by 3 seconds. Just enough. Just enough for victory, even though, like I said, I only needed second to qualify, so I don't care about the gold cups. I unlocked trucks! Yeah! Trucks will be next. Sometimes you hit A, sometimes you hit B. I think it says... Anyway, would I recommend the game? Well, it depends on what you want to do with the game. If you want to play like online and just have fun playing races online, if you want to do custom events and either play against the AI on your own or play online against other people, it's really fun to drive. You know what you get. If you want to play like a sim, forget it, it's not a sim. But you get a sample of what the racing's like. You want to play against the AI or whatever, it's fun. If you want to play through the story mode, because like there's story mode and career mode. If you want to play through the story mode, what I would recommend you do is, instead of playing through the story mode, you get like one of those children choose your own adventure books, because they're a little bit more mature than the story mode is. Or, if you're into Goosebump adventures or something, these are so unbearably hokey. But if you don't mind the hokiness, and you're curious, go through the story mode. The story mode is awful. The cutscenes are awful. They're all professionally acted. It's not, 3D animation. Their budget probably ran way over. Which is why some of the other things can be a little frustrating. But it's short. There's only 32 races total in the main story mode. And then these add-ons add even fewer races, I think. And these are DLC. So this one might not be DLC. I don't know. These are DLC. Most of these are DLC. But in the base game, you get a story mode. There's only 32 races in this base game. I don't know how many are in each of these. I wasn't going to check. So You know, if you're into that kind of really bad schlocky writing and you want to watch a bunch of paid actors doing cutscenes, you can skip the cutscenes. Once you watch, you know, you only have to watch like 10 seconds or something of a cutscene, and then you can skip it. But it still gives you the synopsis of the cutscene while the next screen is loading. So if you stop the cutscene, they tell you what the whole story is. You can't avoid it while the race is loading. Anyway. And then last, if you want to do the career mode like I'm doing, would I recommend the game? If you're okay with incompleteness, then okay, get the game. If you're okay with bugs so that you can't actually finish the game no matter what you do, because to get into these grid challenger series, you have to meet, most of them are like sponsor events, like Echo sponsor event and Xenon Dynamic sponsor event, where you have to meet the sponsors' criteria to get in those. And the sponsors are bugged. If I go to my team, you see sponsorships. Here I'm getting numbers. Wow, it is 152. It's not 15 either. It's 152 out of 255. Yeah, they truncated the 255. It's like 25. But I've done other sponsors, and if I go to the sponsor list, you'll see all of these are 0 now. It lost all my sponsor progress. And some of the sponsor progress you couldn't do. Like here, this one I think was one that it would never record. Perform handbrake drift actions. Well, I did a lot of handbrake drift actions that never recorded it. So it was always 0, even before it reset for some reason. And now they're all 0s. So yeah, if you want to do the career mode, it's very frustrating. If you want to do the story mode, you're a sick person, but it will scratch that itch of your Harlequin romance stories. But if all you want to do is custom races, multiplayer races, whatever, then the game is fun to play, and I would recommend it for that reason. So there you go. My hot take. My not necessarily brief, but my hot take on whether or not I would recommend the game. It depends. As the answer to all things in life are, it depends. Now look, it reset this progress too, but it didn't actually reset it. If I restart the game, it'll go back and it'll show 100%. I hope. I know I got 100% of these other things, because if you go, say, to touring, it'll show you, oh, I got all of them correct. But if you go here, it shows 0%. Yeah, it's buggy. It's so buggy. So many things are buggy and frustrating. They're not so buggy and frustrating if you're just playing custom races. If you're playing custom races, then it's a fun game. All right. Let's try the next race. And you know what? I am going to start on medium. Am I going to start on medium? Do I have enough to do the upgrades yet? I have to do 22 miles. I'm guessing I don't. Let's start the event. That's the easiest way to do it. No, show height upgrades. I do have enough miles. Yay. Do I want to try this once on hard? Let's clean this. And the vehicle tuning, I'll show you the vehicle tuning options. They're like really, those are the vehicle tuning options. It's not at all a sim kind of game. And I've not tried to even fiddle with any of these because, you know, I could fiddle with the brake bias. Maybe I could fiddle with the gear ratio. but I don't bother. Yeah, let's select it. I will try it on hard. If it looks like it's impossible, I'll just retire the race. Well, that's why I got the mileage, because I had to do it twice. Go to options and gameplay, difficulty, hard, fly, start the race, so I won't have to do those. Okay. And starting in 7th, there was only one event in this race, right? Oh, I didn't check that. I think there was only one. Or one race in this event. I keep saying that backwards. Yeah, it's really hard with these electric cars for me to know. Get off of there. I had to brake just because that guy, I could not get off of that guy's fender. I mean, I was stuck right behind him and I couldn't see where I might need to brake because I don't know this course, because why bother to learn the course? I'm not good at learning anymore. I'm an old retired guy. I got in a conversation last episode that I never finished. And if I remember what the conversation was, I will finish it. Oh, I know what it was. Yeah. Yeah. I was saying something about being competitive, and I think I'm not really caring. And I was watching an AoE streamer. And Age of Empires 2, AoE, 25-year-old game, great game, but I can't play it anymore because, one, my skill level has decreased to the point where, yeah, I would not be able to. I can't play it, but also I can't play it. I own it on the console, but just, oh no, I saw something flipping. I didn't know which way it was going to go, whether it was just a fender or what. I can play it on the console with mouse and keyboard, but there is a really good controller interface for that game, which you can actually be competitive in that game, even if you use the controller. I mean, you'll never be like a pro level, but you can be pretty competitive with this controller. It's got, and it's amazing enough. I mean, with just a couple of presses of the button, you can set up control groups of different units, and you can switch those control units very easily just by moving the stick and hitting a button. So it's not quite as easy as just hitting one on the keyboard, but it's pretty easy to do. And if your controller, if I have to look on the keyboard to find the one button, which I would have to do anyway, because I don't know how to touch type with two hands, let alone one hand. So it is got a really good controller interface, but I can't use a mouse and keyboard. Even though I could use a mouse and keyboard on the Xbox, I can't use. And it just released on PlayStation, by the way, now, which is very nice to hear. Even though I could use a mouse and keyboard on with the game, I'm trying to focus on two things at once, which is not my strength. Even though I could use a mouse and keyboard, plug it into my Xbox and use that interface, the traditional interface, I can't play video games with a mouse because my fingers are just too in poor condition. I have finger bands on my trigger finger, and I can use it to to press down the controller button. It keeps the finger braced, but it keeps it at such an angle. I'm rewinding that. It keeps it at such an angle that I can't use a mouse with the finger braces. I have to extend the finger too much. And so I just can't use a mouse with repeated clicking. So sadly, I can't really play video games with a mouse and keyboard, no matter what they are. But, you know, controllers are available even on the PC for a lot of games. Not all games, of course, but like shooters that require mouse and keyboard. But AAA games, AA games, single A games, any kind of games made by any kind of studio, produced by any kind of production company, are released now on console at the same time as PC. We've kind of gone back into gaming being a console thing, you know, back from the days of the N64, or whatever, not N64 maybe, but going back to the days when the consoles really focused on games and the PCs were like, you know, it was hard to play games on the PC, and the consoles were actually more specialized and better purpose for that, and more popular to play video games on consoles than play video games on PCs. You know, PC gaming, devoted PC gamers have been around for a long time. We've gotten to the point where he knows this case was a complete accident. It's now again. What was my first button again? Couldn't find him. I remember the button was on. And I have to finish him first, so I will be racing this again on medium difficulty. I was just very difficult. But back to the story. I was watching the Age of Empires. If you're into Age of Empires, this is a great time to, or if you were ever into Age of Empires, this is a great time to get back into it. New DLC was released. There are now 50 civilizations in the game total you can play, ranked or unranked, against other people. There's other civilizations you can play if you get certain expansion packs that add. Basically, it adds all of Age of Empires 1 to the Age of Empires 2. It's Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. They haven't added anything from Age of Empires 3 because Age of Empires 3 was terrible. But yes, there's 50 civs now that are in the Age of Empires 2 game. Once you get all the DLC and play all of them. But there was somebody in a streamer's chat. I was watching an AoE streamer because of the hype with the new game, and I still watch it even though I can't play it really. I used to love the scenarios, and I can't get through any of the scenarios. The game has gotten harder. The scenarios have gotten harder because the AI has gotten smarter. And even if I was able to use a mouse and keyboard effectively, I don't have the skill to get through the game. Oh, I can't draft him. 6. Oh well, let me try it again on medium. I may end up trying it on hard. But somebody came into, and if you've watched any of my other videos, you know how I feel. I'm an old retired guy. You know how I feel about guys that are like uber competitive and have to prove their manhood. They always play games on hard mode, and they diss you if you don't play on the hardest mode because, you know, you're a lesser of a person, and, you know, there's a D word that applies to them. Well, one of these D words was in the Age of Empires chatter, and he said, because some people were talking about how do the pros feel about losing and, you know, competing and everything. And sure, they say they don't like to lose. They're pros. Their money comes from not losing. And oh, I could have just hit restart, change the difficulty to medium. That would have been much faster. I'm going to have to go select it all again. And it's going to take me back. See, this is one of the frustrating things. It takes me right back to the top of the career mode. It doesn't remember that I was in pro. And it doesn't remember that I was in electric. And it doesn't remember that I was on this race in electric. Doesn't take you back to where you were. Upgrades are fine. Options don't help. You have to select it, and after it loads, change the difficulty level. So the guy was saying, "Oh, people that play for fun are insufferable. You've gotta be competitive." You know, he hates playing against people who aren't playing to win and aren't trying to be the best and whatever. What an A, what a D. And so somebody called him out by saying, insufferable? People who play a video game for fun are insufferable? What did your uncle pack your lunch in? Just like, what did your uncle pack your lunch in? That is one of the funniest lines I've ever heard. Please tell me in the comments or on Twitch, does that come from something? Is that a line from a movie or a game or something? Or a line that could be heard from somewhere else? Because if this guy came up with that line on the spot, I have so much respect for that guy. What did your uncle pack your lunch in? Is that how, did your uncle pack your lunch in lead? So in a lead box? So that, or I think he said wrap your lunch in? Did your uncle, you know, pack your lunch in a lead lunch box with lead paint or something? Because, you know, lead paint makes you crazy. They think a lot of the violence from the 70s were because of lead paint. Before they got rid of leaded gasoline, something like that. That's kind of a crazy theory, but okay. I have to go to options. Yeah, lead poisoning makes you kind of crazy and aggressive. So I think the uncle packed his lunch in a lead lined lunchbox. It's so funny. What did your uncle wrap your lunch in? Gameplay. Focus. Come on. Focus. Apply. Restart. I have my soda in the wrong place. Soda. Delicious caffeinated cola. Whose brand I will not say because I don't want people to unfollow because they drink the wrong brand of soda. Unsubscribe on YouTube. All right, I'm starting in 4th place this time. Was it random start? They usually always start me in 11th place. Okay. Medium, attempt number 2. Well, they'll start me in 4th place, so I got a good chance of getting through the traffic early. Oh, look at that weave. Look at that weave through the traffic. Oh, but he hit all the boost gates, didn't he? Which means you had to go out of your way to hit them, which means I will pass you easily. Now, the problem is going to be, I don't know where the turns are, and I don't know how much I need to brake in this car. I can't get a good feel for it. Possibly because it's electric. I don't know. You know when I'm quiet, I'm sticking my tongue out trying to focus. It's such a little boy. Such a little overtired guy boy. That's like, you know, the little rascals kids trying to do math with their tongue sticking out. You would think this would be an easier track for me to see. Although I do have one excuse, and that is my glasses are so dirty I could barely see. I'm not sure I told this story before or not, but on stream. But I was out just the other day with chronically let my glasses get dirty and not clean them. I was out the other day with my roommate and I went for a walk, and oh wait, I gotta tell my teammate to back off. A bird flew. There was one bird that looked like probably with a seagull or something, the way it plays. I think maybe she said, was that a crane or something like that? I said I didn't think its legs were long enough, sticking out long enough. Or maybe it was the other way around. I said it and she corrected me. I don't know, remember. But then I saw another bird that came off the same roof. I said, is that, oh no, that's not it. I think that's a pigeon. It's like, I started to say, oh, was that it? But it's like, no, that's not the same bird. I think that's just a pigeon. And or a rock dove, as they probably, as more properly call it, and they call it in other countries. And she said, no, that's a crow. And you may know that there's a difference between what a crow looks like and what a pigeon looks like. The primary difference being that pigeons are gray and crows are black. And my glasses were so dirty I couldn't tell what color the bird was. It looked gray to me, even though it was black. Now, maybe the sun was hitting it a certain way. Maybe I have an excuse because, you know, the sun was low and it's kind of low and hitting it from a direction. You know, we're looking away from the sun, and so the reflection off of the black may have given it a lighter, shiny. I'm gonna say that I had an excuse, even though I don't have an excuse. The fact that my glasses are so dirty, I couldn't tell. A black bird from a gray bird. Oh, but he was motoring. That's it. There were like, yeah, that's the ticket. It's going so fast. He looked gray from the motion blur. It's zoom, zoom, birdie, zoom. I don't know if I told this on stream before, but there was a whole collection of birds I saw going shopping at the shopping center or something, shopping in this store, grocery store. And there was 20 some odd birds at least on this one side of the roof. It's the shopping center. It has a roof, but it's divided with a what's it called, gable in the middle. And on one side of the roof was like all of these birds in the flock. On the other side of the roof, away from the others, were 4 birds. You know, and there were over 20, at least 20 birds on one side. I couldn't get an exact count, but it was at least 20 birds. And 4, there's actually 4 on the other side. And I was thinking, I joked, told my roommate that, yeah, those were like the teenage birds, you know, the teenage pigeons. They didn't want to hang out with the adults on the other side of the roof. They wanted to do their own thing. Pigeon stories. Man, do I have pigeon stories. when I was young, I used to go to the, the, the downtown area of the city I grew up in. I've been in Minnesota for the majority of my life, but grew up somewhere else. And there was a little park there, and the pigeons would be in huge flocks would fly around the parks, and it was common for people to buy like popcorn or peanuts or something at the shops that were near there and just toss them to the pigeons. And I mean, you do risk getting pigeon droppings on you, but it was a lot of fun to have a flock of 100 pigeons just swooping around the sky and then landing next to you because somebody told them he's got peanuts. He doesn't have popcorn. Popcorn, the scrubs would bring popcorn to feed the pigeons. No, somebody bought peanuts. Feed the pigeons with a bag of peanuts. We're gonna flock around that guy, and they'd come up on the back of the bench, and I mean, they were pretty much domesticated. Where the pigeons that hung out in that park area, they were domesticated. They'd come up on the bench and if you didn't mind sitting on a gray bench with white sprinkles, it was a lot of fun. But as a kid, you don't care about that kind of thing. Nobody's chatting today. And yes, medium was too easy. I finished in first by a lot. Hard was impossible. Medium was too easy. But also, I started in 5th place, so I only had 4 cars to get around me. By turn 1, I was already in 1st place. Maybe turn 2. What time is it? Do I have time to do another race? It's been 42 minutes. Maybe not. Yay, objective! Miles driven electric cars. Check. Was that a sponsor objective? Okay. I didn't get what all those things were, but let's see, continue. I got a little bit of time. Only been 42 minutes. I actually hit my... I apologize, the last episode was either longer than usual or shorter than usual because I forgot to hit my timer at the start of it. Whoa, I didn't hit any button that time. It said something unlocked and then went away. I'm like, whoa, wait, whoa, what was unlocked? It looked vaguely like a silhouette of a car. Oh, I gotta remember to restart the game in between to make sure my progress is actually... Yeah, it's not showing the correct progress of any of these things. Now, trucks I haven't done yet. I have done specials and it's not showing. I have done GT, it's not showing. It's showing that there's more events I can do. I've done tuner, it's not showing. Did touring? Yes, okay. So what I have left after electric is going to be, I have to check it. Open wheel, I think, and then trucks. Or after electric trucks, maybe, then open wheel, and then... I don't know, I have to check it. I have the list written down somewhere. Okay, this is open wheel finale. So, after this will come trucks, and then after trucks will come open wheel, and then track day, and then that will be the last one. And no demolition derby. That must be one of the grid challenges or something. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. C1. Is it in the gauntlets? Which I can't even look at. There's supposed to be demolition derby in this game, which would have been fun. But I haven't faced it. I don't think I'm going to face it. Unless maybe it's in trucks or track day. I doubt it. I've done trucks and track day before. I can't even open that one. Oh, see, and there's only 2 here, and I'll never be able to do them. And to finish in the top 3, have to finish in first place. There's no way I'll ever be able to finish in the top 3. And I tried on the easiest mode, and I finished last place when I was practicing. It could not happen, which is sad because I would like to be able to get in the gauntlet. Maybe I'll try it again. Yeah, just so you can laugh at me, I'll try it again as a bonus at the end of some episode if I need to. But let's see what is next. I'll see what's next. Hyper hybrid. Okay. Hyper hybrid electric racing. There's 2 rounds. Let's event details don't really do anything. I'll go here to select the car. I can buy a car and it screws up. I've done that before too. It's like, oh, well, you don't want to use a rental. You want to get credit for the car. And look, this car's better. It's got, way better braking, but not quite as good handling. Maybe this car is better. Actually, this car looks better. The only thing that's better here is braking. But maybe you want to use this car. It's maybe a DLC car. You want to use it. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a DLC car. You can't spend your credits on anything except upgrades. Because if you don't use the car that you start with, you actually end up not getting credit farther along. And you can't run the race. I ran into that. Maybe that's a bug. Probably it's a bug. So you have to use the car they give you, the rental they give you. How many levels of upgrade are there? There's 3 levels of upgrade. Okay. So this might be another case where I have to do 1.5. Because there's 3 levels of upgrade. And I'm guessing there's only 3 events. Sometimes when there's 3 level of upgrades, there's 4 events. There's the first event where you aren't expected to have any upgrades. The second event, we're expected to have level 1 upgrades. The third event, we're expect to have level 2 upgrades. And the fourth event, we're expected to have level 3 upgrades. But most of the races only have 3 events. So it's like no upgrades, stage 1 upgrades, stage 1.5 upgrades for the final race stage, the rest of the stage 2 and 3 upgrades. So, 1.5 stages for each time. Even though this one has like an extra one here. Usually stage 2 is split in half, maybe for that reason. So let's see, how many races are there in this? Hyper hybrid, event 1, finale, fully upgraded finale. So I am going to have to, after this event, to do the next event, I will need 1.5. I will need 1.5 upgrades. 0 upgrades, 1.5 upgrades, 3 upgrades. Level 1.5, level 3 upgrades. So, to get to the level 2 upgrades, I will need, 25 miles? 25 miles, okay. So, next YouTube episode, I will race this race. I will get nothing. Then I'll race a custom race. 10 laps around Indianapolis Speedway, which will give me the 25 miles driven. And then I'll be able to do the next event. And then the final event. So I might get this done during this stream. This is the second part of the stream. We'll see. Anyway, I am on 50 minutes now. So if you're watching on Twitch, I'm going to take a break now. If you're watching on YouTube, though, that's going to be it for this YouTube episode. The next episode will be the next weekday. No, get that wrong every time on the weekends. The next YouTube episode will be the next weekend at 6 p.m. U.S. Central Time, which is midnight in the UK and 0600 hours the next morning. So that would be Sunday morning, Monday morning in New Zealand. So Twitch, stick around. YouTube, next episode. Before I let you go, though, I'm going to ask you, how many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh? All right, Twitch, stick around. YouTube, I'm out of here. Bye-bye.